So hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to replace your rear anti-roll bars with H&R roll bars. So currently I believe it's a 14mm thickness hollow ones. This is 20mm in the rear, filled. The tools you need is at least a toolkit, at least a jack. Some jack stands to have the whole car in the air, and an impact gun would be greatly helpful for this job. So it's a one-man job. It could be done, but the more people you have around you, the better, because it's faster. So when you're jacking up, just make sure you put the jack a bit further than the jacking point, so you can actually leave the jack stand on the jacking point. So yeah, and don't forget to unscrew to untighten your wheels before having the car in the air. So once you're under the car, you see that under tray, the black one, as well as the middle one over the exhaust, and the rear tray under the muffler need to all be taken off, because we need to get the exhaust out. As you can see here, you will need a longer extension, as I'll show in a second, to get the clamp off. The exhaust, and then there's two more mounting points in the back under the plastic cover, which is just held by 10mm screws and 8mm screws or 10mm, I'm not sure, as well as some plastic rivets, as you can see, plastic nuts. So once you have that removed, you will see the mounting point of the muffler. Don't forget these nuts, which are a bit hidden, in order to get the plastic cover off. So as you can see here, you have two more spots where the muffler is mounted. You need to get these off as well and pull the exhaust off. So once the exhaust is off, you can just bring it a bit to the side. Next, to change the handbrake clips, you need to get that heat shield off. As you can see, it's a 10mm screws, which you can get off. And there you go, as you can see, the previous one's already broken, but to be fair, it lasted 10 years and 300,000 kilometers, so it did an okay job. As you can see on the drive shaft, you can see the line where it would make the grinding noise when accelerating, as such. So you just need to grab a wrench, the 60mm wrench, and just get it out. So as you can see, I bought both the original and the metal clip. They were both around 20 euros each, but I decided to go with the metal one because I wouldn't want to go through this whole process to replace a handbrake clip again. So I chose to go with the metal one, as I believe it's a more permanent fix. So getting the old clip is a bit hard. You can try pull it out with your fingers, but you most likely won't manage. So what I did was I grabbed some pliers to help it to get out. So yeah, once it's out, you can see. You can leave the rubber bushing inside, so to dampen any vibrations possibly. And the new kit comes with some also rubber covers for the brake lines, again to dampen vibrations. And then just mount the actual clip on top and tighten it to the same bolt that you took off the original one. It's just that easy, as you can see. Just make sure you put it in the correct way with the edge going up. And yeah, that's basically it. Tighten it well so you don't have any play, the cables. And yeah, now we can move on to the anti-roll bars. So now the next thing is to remove the fender liners and remove any connections. As you can see in the little box, you can have 1 or 2 or 3 depending on the options of the car. Then the next thing is we'll remove this control arm, but only from one side, it's necessary so you can get the anti-roll bar in and out. And then on the right side, the clips, but that goes on both sides of the car. They can be a bit challenging. As well as this panel under, so it's a T30 I believe. You can do this, you can unscrew this by hand. They're really not that tight, they're plastic bolts. And then you have one more, I believe it's a 10mm or 13mm, as you can see. To remove this plastic cover so you can get to the subframe mounts. So you can leave it hanging like this. And I will show you now shortly what's the next two bolts you need to remove. It's those two, which are, again, you can remove those firstly and then I need to have the bracket loose. And you'll remove the big bolt at the back at the end. So it's quite straightforward. Just grab your socket and your impactor or your wrench. Just get it off. You don't need to have the car jacked up yet. I mean, the differential doesn't need to be jacked up yet. But I'll do it in a second, but you could also do it at this point. As you can see now is the next step. Now, yeah, as I said, the diff should be jacked up already, just in case, and we can start removing the back mounts of the subframe. You can see. So it's really not too hard. Just again make sure that your subframe is already supported from underneath the differential. So they saw in some other guides, they said to put this bolt a few turns back in and drop the subframe just that much because that's all the space you need. But unfortunately for me, it did not work. You will not have enough clearance to remove the anti-roll bar mounts. So you can just skip that step and take the entire bolts out. As well, next bolt is on the right side, the one I previously showed you. So once again, just have it jacked up and remove all the mounts, remove all the bolts for the subframe mounts, in order to have enough clearance to work and remove the old roll bar and install the new one. So as you can see, there is absolutely no clearance. There's no way to get a wrench in there to remove these bolts. So the next thing is just to remove the front mounts as well, right here. And take the whole bracket off, so you can drop the subframe entirely. So like so, just remove the whole bracket. And now your subframe, once this is done on both sides, your subframe is ready to be dropped. As you can see now, I drop it basically entirely, and then I'll jack it just a bit back up so it's supported, not completely hanging, in order to get to the mounts for the anti-roll bar, and be able to unscrew them, pull the anti-roll bar out, and put everything back together. You don't have to worry, even if, as you saw, if you completely drop the jack, nothing's gonna happen. But again, just as soon as it's completely down, jack it back up a little bit. As you can see now, there is actually clearance to get to the 2 bolts for the bushings. So again, it can be a bit hard to get a wrench in there, but yeah, the easiest thing is just to untighten them and then do the rest by hand. So now that it's out, the last thing we have is the end links, which can be a bit tricky because they tend to get stuck. You can see now the anti-roll bar is loose. It's much better because you can move the end link left and right, so you have enough space to work. But as I said, it can get, that bolt can get stuck. So what you can do is you can take the impact or a wrench, if you don't have an impact, and just get it moving before you use Allen key to keep it from spinning while you can unscrew it after. So that's what I did. I hit it with impact, then I put it to counter hold while I unscrew it. So you just unscrew. It takes a bit of time. If you have a proper wrench, it would be faster, but even that's okay. So as you can see, do it until you get that bolt out, and now you can pull it off the end link. The end link moves freely, just be careful with it because it could be easy to snap potentially. And now that it's off, you can just pull the old anti-roll bar out. It can be a bit tricky. As I said, you can remove this control arm, but only on one side. You don't need to do it on both sides. It will not mess with your alignment, but as I said, one side is enough. So as you can see the comparison, 14mm to the 20mm, it's much thicker, as you can see. So I put it on the wrong way around, so make sure you don't make that mistake because it can be annoying. Just make sure that where the H&R logo, that's your right side. So once again, when the subframe is completely lowered, it's still quite easy to get it in. And then basically just reverse the steps back the way it was. Next thing, the bushings, align them, and make sure, important thing is make sure your anti-roll bar is centered. So even it can be a little bit, if it's a little bit off, I don't think it'd be a problem, but still make sure it's centered. And then the next thing is just get your subframe back on. It can be a little tricky, but as long as the subframe goes into the little hole on the right, you can just give it a little push from the left and the right side, forward and back. As soon as it's in, then just tighten everything back up. And as you can see, I've already mounted the bracket on the right, so it's the bolt on the left. I've put everything back together at this point. And that's pretty much it. It's not that hard of an install. It looks scary, but it took me, to be honest, around 5 hours to do, completely by myself. If you had friends over to pass you the tools, it'd be much faster, much easier. So that's basically it. I will do a video also on the front, which is a bit more complicated. You can't really see from here, but I might even do a review in the end of how much better it is, different it is. But yeah. Thank you for watching, and next video will be the front as well.